You like that?
All right, it's Monday. Who's ready to talk some football? NFC North style. Who do we got in the comments already? Look at Jason. We got some. We got Hunter signed his contract. We'll talk about that. Jason Smith, what's up, brother? What's up, Albert? Good morning, Tina. Wow, you guys all in here. Gotta like that. Look at that cat. Woo! Oh, gotta like that. Welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, NFC North Talk with me, your host, Russell Wayne. Thank you so much for making us one of your listens on this morning. I know that we're not as cool as some of the people out there, but we love football just as much as anybody, and I will take that test on that. Want to say hello to all of the peeps out there. We got Packer fans, we got Viking fans, Lion fans, and Bear fans. Oh my, up in here. 11 o'clock every morning on the weekdays with your host, Russell Wayne, right here. That's 11 o'clock Eastern. That's 10 o'clock in the Central. Good morning, Jeremy. Good morning, Will. Good morning, Tina. Oh my gosh, I love it. We got some good, there's like football talk. We can do football talk. I don't even know who you guys want to start with right here, but I think that I am going to start with what I believe is the biggest news, which is Hunter. Daniel Hunter finally signs his contract. The holdout is over. All the people can stop making fun of those Minnesota Vikings.
You like that?
Because they have a good player on their team. They re-sign Hunter, and it cost them some money. It definitely cost them some money, especially in the future. I don't know how they're going to work that as far as spreading the contract over a couple of years, but they got him for this year, and it's going to cost him even if he's not on the team for the future. But you do got yourself a good pass rusher. One of the other things I wanted to talk about was the other training camps. All the training camps are open. Everybody's been doing some work. The Lions released the 3rd edition of Inside the Den. It was really, really cool to see in the morning, and or to see the inside of the war room, and their thought process behind some of these draft picks. And then Love. I mean, all you need is Love and upgrade. I mean, apparently he's looking really, really good in camp. People running around with shorts. Everybody should just be quiet. I mean, Love is going to be an upgrade over Aaron Rodgers, right? So here we are. I'm going to throw the link in here in case somebody wants to talk to me today. I'll listen to myself talk on some of this stuff. Darnell Wright looking like he's impressing pretty good in Chicago Bears mini camp. And it looks like the connection from Fields to Moore is looking really, really good right off the bat. What do you think about that? Throw that in the comments. I want to see if we can't get this a nice little conversation in here. Jason MC says Skull. You like that signing, huh? You like that signing?
You like that?
It's a double. I mean, you got to get your guys in camp if you want to compete in this NFC North. Jeremy says, "This is the way, Pandawan." Yes, Will and his protege, or Jeremy and his protege Will are in the comments right here. Danielle Hunter wiped out the rest of the salary cap with that signing. LOL. Yeah, they spent some money. You gotta pay good players. And Danielle Hunter is a good player, and you're gonna have to wipe out some of that contract. But they did spread that contract over the next few years and dead. So I mean, it's nice to know that Kwesi is so dumb that he wants to wreck future years before they fire him for being a bad GM. So Tina says, Russell, how are you doing today? You know what? I get better by the day. And I'm always improving, no matter what. Always moving towards improvement every single day. Jason Smith says, hope y'all the coolest of the cool. I am the coolest of the cool. I'm feeling pretty cool today, even though I might not look very cool. You guys can be the judge of that. I'm not trying to look cool. Don't want to look cool. Just want to talk some football. And I appreciate you guys being on here and talking football with me. I mean, it's July 31st. We got like 6 weeks until the opening of the season, and it feels pretty good to have all of you on here talking some football. So what do you think? I mean, to me, it doesn't matter what I think, because I mean, I'd be up here running my mouth anyway. Kneecap says, I love losses in Chicago. If Love loses in Chicago week 1, I can't read. His entrance music at Lambeau Field home opener will be Love Stinks. Yeah. Love hurts. Yeah. Eric Thomas says, can't wait till the pads go on next week. I don't know if you guys had some padded practices. No, nobody had some padded practice. I guess I didn't realize that that the Lions had padded practices already, but I think that they got to practice early because they have the game first. You know, they're playing the Minnesota or they're playing the Kansas City Chiefs in week 1. Oh, we got somebody in our back room right here. We got Albert. How you doing, Albert?
How you doing, buddy? I'm doing great. I'm over here in Germany, though.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So what time is it over there?
Germany. You know what I really like? I saw an article today about the youth of the Lions. That is very promising. That is very, very promising. I mean, when you start talking about building up a prolonged dynasty, not just this season, but next season and the season after. That's a lot of young talent up and coming. I tell you, another thing is what you really got to pay attention to is some of these guys that's coming off injuries, some of these guys are doing what they need to do to keep that check coming in. You know how you got it. You may not be the best salesman. You may not be the best stockbroker, or you may not be the best CEO, but you do your job. You come in, these guys that are coming in, they were, I don't know, second and third stringers, 5th round picks, 6th round picks. And now those guys are starting to blossom a little bit. Those type of things, those challenges you see, and those challenges you see, that's really awesome, man. That's really awesome.
I love the youth.
You know movement. What I mean? Not just some guy. Yeah, with that youth movement thing. I mean, look at the rookies we got now. If I was, let's just for an example, if I got picked maybe in the 4th round 2 years ago, and I'm hanging around now, do you really think I want a rookie to step in and get? What the heck, rookie, you gotta put up or shut up. And we got those veterans in here. Maybe those veterans are hobbled. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's competition. That's what it comes down to, is you want to keep on having competition. And you got these young guys that are in, and I believe that this team has arrived 1 year earlier than when they had hired that 7-year deal at the beginning with Holmes and Campbell. I believe that they had said, I need 3 years. I need 3 years to build this thing, rip it apart at the studs and build it up. And I think because he hit on guys like Malcolm Rodriguez and James Houston, Amon-Ra St. Brown in the late rounds, that we have arrived into that competitive, those competitive juices like 1 year early. So
yeah, I would have been real worried. I guess we all might as well say it was the golf trade that did it.
Yeah, that's the beginning.
Be honest. It was the golf trade that did it. With those 2 first rounds we got this year, bringing in Gibbs. And, that's another point. I guess you guys, we're all Detroit fans. They give me that bad boy image. They give it like we have superstars. We just got guys that meet their role, that plays their role. I don't need you to be the league's leading sacker. I just need them to fear to come around that edge toward touching. You know what I mean? I don't need you to exploit us, with these broken pass touchdowns, with these broken route touchdowns. I just need some defensive backs back there that's gonna say, "Hey, you throw that ball up there like a rainbow, and I'm gonna come down with it."
Suck anymore. It's like if we had below average cornerbacks. Last year, they would have won 13 games. We were historically bad in the back end right here. We got biting kneecaps right here saying in the comments, the Lions are the fourth youngest roster in the NFL at the moment. And that is a good testament. And then Brent Adams says, who is looking like the starting D tackles for this season? And if you're talking about the Lions, you got to look no further than third round draft pick from 2021, Aleem McNeil, coming in, doing some yoga, losing like 20 pounds and keeping all of that strength in the middle. I think he's definitely going to be a starting defensive tackle. And then, and I think there's a competition. You got Isaiah Buggs, and then you got third round draft pick from this year, Broderick Martin, who has been punching people in the face.
That guy's a big guy.
1 second. We got Main Event Mike calling in. Here he is. Main Event Mike. Main Event Mike is on the line. How are you doing, brother?
One pride, my friend.
You like that?
Gotta like that. So we got Main Event Mike, and Mike, I have Albert is here on the broadcast with me. Welcome to the show, brother.
All the way from Germany. And also, I'm sort of leaning towards us pushing the 3-4. You know, if we push the 3-4, and we can offset that nose tackle, because that other guy, that guy you talked about, Bruggs. I'm sorry, the nose tackle, the other nose tackle.
Buggs.
Before Buggs, yeah, him. Because that is his original position. We put Ocean them. We got 4 linebackers now. And, you know, I sort of thought those guys ran at stunt defense pretty well. You know, remember when, because, you know, for a short time, they did run the 3-4 during that 9-2 or 8-2, 9-2, I think it was, or 8-1, 8-2.
8-2 down the stretch. Yep.
Yeah. When our run game started getting a little bit more shut down because we were running stunts. It looked like a 4-3, but then they would drop back and somebody else would push forward. And and that's another point about that was what you know, I really, you know, my skepticism is on the backfield, because that 8-2 run, that was inspired because we had both Swift and Williams were healthy. And that was the first time in 3 years where they both were healthy for more than 5 games, you know.
Right. I feel you, Albert. Let me get Main Event Mike into this program right here. I just answered the phone and I'm sitting here just letting him sit in the background and marinate right here. But Mike, you do have some thoughts on what type of defense that we are going to be running. So give me your thoughts on what type of defense you think Glenn's going to be doing.
Well, with all due respect to Albert, I don't think the Lions fit. Their personnel does not fit a 3-4 defense. In fact, the 3-4
no, they really
came into fruition in the NFL to help prevent the West Coast offense. Swing passes, speedy backs out of the backfield, taking a pitch around the end. The speedy linebacker, the long linebacker in the 3-4 was a countermeasure to the West Coast offense and what Bill Walsh was doing in San Francisco. But these days, the vertical passing game is what prevails. And you have to generate, in the NFL, you have to generate pressure with at least 3 or 4 guys have to be coming, right? You can't afford to have any more than 4 people on the line of scrimmage, because the deep threat is just too good. These receivers are just too fast. So I definitely think a 4-down lineman is where the Lions want to go, especially with the depth on the defensive line that they have. They can rotate. You look at the success the Buffalo Bills have had the last couple of years, and the reason is because their defensive line rotation is 8 guys deep. It's 8 guys deep. They're rolling in fresh guys all the time, and I think the Lions are working towards that kind of a model. We might even see a 4-2-5. A 4-2-5 coming out of Aaron Glenn's defense this year. And Russ, you and I talked about with Jack Campbell in the middle, and during training camp they were running a
A
5-1-5.
A 5-1-5, one linebacker.
And there you go, getting even more pressure on the quarterback with 5 down linemen, and maybe even then bringing a corner blitz. Pressure on the quarterback is the name of the game in today's NFL.
Yeah, I love that call right there, because that's like we had talked about it possibly being a brand new type of defense that like people haven't seen before, and I don't think too many people run 5-1-5s in the NFL. So I like that call. What do you think about that, Albert?
Well, I saw that 5-1-5 situation. Did you notice that during that 5-1-5, when they ran that, 2 men were off the standing position? So technically, that was not a 5-1-5. Anytime they are off that standing position, they are really dropping in and dropping back like linebackers. So really what you really had, and that's what they say, there's no true 4-3 defense anymore, because they run those stunts. They want to try to shoot those gaps. They want to try to capitalize, on the weak man on the line. If you got a weak offensive tackle, then you'll slide your nose tackle over. You'll fake left and then bring somebody right. Well, and what you said, that versatility we have, especially in the linebacking crew. So it's okay as long as we can keep the ball in front of us. You know what I mean? You rush that ball and you got a good chance of getting that ball behind you. But if you rush 3 linemen and say, okay, beat us to the line of scrimmage with those linebackers, Azalone, Lambert, and those guys are just great, man. These guys got a lot of energy, and I think it's going to be that stunt, that real stunt defense where they come in, they step back out. But remember, the lineman is always a man that's on his knees. If you don't touch that ground, he's not a lineman. They're coming in off that stand-up rush. You saw Houston do it. That's how Houston excelled.
Yep. You need position versatility in order to pull off. So, and thank you for jumping on the program with us, Albert. And I'd love to have this conversation with you out there in the comments too. What do you think of the 5-1-5, the 3-4? Jeremy says stunts didn't work with 3 down linemen. I mean, there you go. What do you think about that, Mike?
I don't think that our defensive linemen were experienced enough, and we were really banged up along the defensive line with Charles Harris and Romeo out. But this year, coming back healthy, I think Jeremy's right. Every time we would try that 3-4 stunt, it wasn't working. And to have a 3-4, you have to have a pure, real nose tackle, right? You need to have Haloti Nada there in the middle to anchor that 3-4. I just don't think the Lions personnel matches up with a 3-4 scheme.
No, I don't either.
I would be interested to know Jeremy Ballreich's thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, he's getting really, really technical. Our defense is, Jeremy says, our defense is a 4-2-5 hybrid, 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 secondary. And there's truth to that. But I think when you're talking about these versatile guys, you got Jack Campbell as the truth right in the middle. That's what they really want, him right in the middle. And then you have all these versatile guys after that. So yeah, it could be a 4-2-5, one down, and a 5-1-5 on another down. It just depends on your personnel that you have out there. So CR Mayo says that it's a 3-4 hybrid. I mean, what do you call this? I mean, with all these different deals, we got a lot of different takes on what this is. Jeremy says that 5-1-5 is a modified dime package. Garrett says love the 5-1-5, and he also says 3-4. And so there's a bunch of different opinions in there on that.
We love the 515 and the 313.
The 515 and the 313. I like that. So,
You like that?
we do have some other people that were in the comment. I don't know if we ran all the Packer fans or anything out of there, but I heard some reports. I listened to Locked On Packers today just to kind of get the idea of where they were at, and they're feeling pretty good about Love's looking good in shorts, man. Is he an upgrade? Are we underselling this guy? I mean, he looks to be doing pretty well in camp.
Jordan Love could be really, really good. He could be really, really good. And if so, the Packers are going to be a problem. But if he's a bust, I mean, so much depends on quarterback play in this league, right? I mean, the Lions, everyone but the Bears can say that if their quarterback goes down, their team's in trouble.
That's true. That's true. Even Woody says, even I look good in shorts. And it's like, listen, we can't sit up here and we can't, like, I'm also going to say that Justin Fields in the connection between him and DJ Moore in camp looks really, really good. So, and yeah, here's everybody coming in from the other side. Everybody looks good in shorts, says Jeremy Ballrick. Justin Fields will own the North, says Rajneesh. And Jason Smith.
He'll own the north end of the basement.
The north end of the basement. Well, I mean, he looks pretty good in shorts. So Woody says he looks good in shorts. Do you accept that Justin Fields looks pretty good? The connection between him and DJ Moore looks like a real connection. That's a dangerous proposition.
Yeah, but when you double team or you roll a safety over the top of DJ Moore, now they're the Bears from last year.
I mean, there was a lot of times when Justin Fields was rolling out and he wouldn't trust to throw to a guy when he got outside of the pocket. So maybe he does throw it, I mean, to DJ Moore, because DJ Moore gets open. I mean, you can double team him all day long. He's done it for 3-4 years in Carolina with bad quarterbacks. So I do believe he'll get open. I don't think that he's one of those guys that you can just, lock down. I mean, you got to understand where he is at all times. Albert Tucker says Love needs experience. No way he can carry a mid-level team. Well, Albert, Love is getting experience. That's what he's doing right now. He's in training camp getting experience. Who knows how good he could be. Eric Thomas says he will be good. And Woody says that the connection is good in training camp, just so he doesn't favor him during the season. Okay. Rajneesh says it's okay. Fields can put that fear into y'all organization. I don't know what fear that he's putting into an organization here. He won 3 games last year. That's not very much fear. Are you afraid? Am I afraid that he might win 5 or 6 games this year? Yes, I'm terrified. He may win 5 games this year. He may win 6 games and double his output and be a better team. LOL, I am more confident in Love with Green Bay more than I like Rodgers at the Jets. What's that about? I don't know. I got Jeremy Ballrick is on the line here. What is going on, Jeremy Ballrick?
Oh, great to be here. As always, let's talk some football.
Let me get this thing out the way. All right, now we are on here, and I got Main Event Mike on the line. I got Jeremy Ballrick in the studio, and we are talking about, what do you want to talk about? Which one of these topics did you want to jump on? Jordan
Well,
Love?
I actually put I don't want to talk about any other team than the Lions, really, but that's beside the point. Jordan Love could be good. But the biggest question this offseason, and I said it in a comment that Bill said, is Love going to be better than Fields, or is Fields going to be better than Love? the two biggest question marks coming into the season in the NFC North is Fields going to be able to read a defense in game, and is Love going to be good? You have to see it on the field. Practice doesn't matter. Preseason doesn't matter. It matters in the regular season.
Well, it absolutely does matter during the practice because we don't have any games to talk about yet, and that's all we have, Jeremy. So right now, these guys are killing it in practice. And here's the thing, is when they get out into the real world, what if they kill it in the real time too?
Thanks, Rajesh. You know, that's fine. I'd tell you how I lost my teeth, but this is a PG show.
Yeah, you guys got to be nice out there. I mean,
I do know it has to do with that dude's mother, Mountain Dew, and a douche.
Well, here's what I'll say about Rajneesh with the dude has no teeth comment right there. That just proves what a weak ass smack talker you are. If you got to go at somebody personally, that's so weak.
Yeah, personal attacks are so awesome. Thanks.
And if you
I
want to,
really like it. You know, I'm glad that I was raised with a generation where I moved to 13 different schools before I graduated high school. So personal attacks don't bother me.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is one thing I want to set the precedent on this show. Rajneesh, yeah, there you go. Rajneesh,
that's a little better.
What that? F the toilet lions. That's way better than attacking him personally. Don't attack personal people on this show, or I will block you. I really don't give a shit if you don't watch my show. If you're just going to personally attack people, how's that? Rajneesh? I don't care what team.
Come on to the Monday night show, Rajesh. Come on to the Monday night show where that kind of talk is welcome.
Bring that. Well, no, we're not going to insult people personally on the Monday night show either. You go at my mom, you go at somebody's teeth, you go at some weak stuff like that and prove that you don't have any balls, and you prove that you can't actually argue with somebody without like going at them personally. Get some football intelligent and love talking football. How about that? Bye, Rajneesh. The show is terrible. Rajneesh says our show is terrible. Bye, Rajneesh. We can actually talk smack against Justin Fields' 3-win ass. He has 3 wins. 3 wins. And you're talking about
Monday nights. Invite him Monday nights. I want to personally shred that guy.
You want to come onto the show tonight? If you want to come onto the show tonight, let main event Mike shred you. Go ahead. Invite him, Mike. Go ahead. You want him.
Rajneesh, we invite you every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time to the NFC North Open Mic Trash Talk group. You can get as nasty as you want, and we'll just put it right back on you. There's also some serious football talk involved as well. We invite everyone to come every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, broadcasting live into Facebook, NFC North Open Mic.
I like that. You like that? I honestly do believe that the Bears are going to get 2 victories at least over the Vikings. I can go there.
Eric Thomas, you're absolutely right. It's not all on Fields. It is a team sport. People saying that quarterback records matter. Guess what? It's not listed as a stat.
So, it is a team sport. So we are talking about Justin Fields right now. What are your thoughts about Justin Fields in his 3rd year? Do you think that he's going to become Jalen Hurts, or do you think he's going to become RG3? Because here's the fork in the road. Your excuses are gone, Justin Fields. Oh, wow. I love that. Rajneesh, yeah, that's cool. The Toilet Lions have been rebuilding since, and you need to put some respect on, and to put some respect on that. There you go. Thank you for your comments. You're helping me make money right now since we're monetized. Every time you comment on this, you're making me money. So thank you, Rajneesh, for commenting and telling me how bad I am. Eric Thomas, I feel a big leap. Okay.
And every Chicago Bear fan should hope for that big leap. You want to see the leap where he becomes more like Hurts or Jackson than RG Nee.
Jason MC, Bears lose both to Minnesota, right? Michael Mitchell. I mean, I don't know how you expect that. I mean, you think because you signed your Hunter, you think Hunter, that makes the difference? I mean, he hasn't been at any of the training camp, and you just used all of your salary cap, like all of it,
and some future cap.
And future cap. So when Kwesi gets fired, you're still going to be paying for his mistakes. What do you think about that, Mike? Or did I lose Mike? No,
For sure, the next general manager is going to have a big hole to dig out of when they finally fire Kwesi. And I love the Daniil Hunter thing. I just love that a player that was already on the roster and going to be forced to play this year was able to sign a $20 million, like a max contract for how long? Oh yeah, 1 year.
1 year.
So what? So, I mean, you already had this guy, and then you're thinking, well, maybe we can keep him, right? So we'll give him this $20 million. Oh, no. His agent actually would not get a deal done unless there was a no franchise tag clause in the contract, which basically is the player telling the team, I am not playing for you next year, no matter what. Now I'm going to extort you for $20 million. He got fleeced. Kwesi was fleeced again. I can't believe Vikings fans still defend this guy.
You know what? That is a great take, Mike. And that is a great point. How do you defend that? Jason MC, how do you defend the fact that a guy that was holding out in training camp just turned your general manager around and made your general manager bend to his will? I thought that Kwesi was
he gave it to him right up to Rajesh.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. You're the general manager. The general manager is supposed to be the one that's in control. Like, it's just like the Gutekunst thing from last year. It's like, why are you letting your players dictate how you run your team? You're the general manager.
And Rajneesh,
Exactly.
in defense of what you're saying there, it's a new year. That 3-14 record last year got last year's date on it. We could say the same thing, and we did last offseason, and you guys all said, oh, you guys are trash. You're not going to win anything because you went 3-13-1. Remember that? But what did we do? We swept your ass.
Yeah, but we really didn't win anything.
No, we won 9 games. That's what I'm saying.
So
it's an
really, in
improvement.
reality, they were right.
No, it's a winning record. They weren't right. We went from a trash record to a winning record. And I'm not saying they can't go from a trash record to a winning record. They are possibly the most improved team in the North.
So we hung our banner for our winning record. Are you going to win? You going to hang yours if you win 9 wins and miss the playoffs? Because we're hanging our. We beat the Packers in Lambeau banner. That one goes up on Saturday, right? Next Saturday, I think. Right?
Yeah, because they knocked them out of the playoffs. That banner goes up in Allen Park.
We have no shame in it. And by the way, Rajneesh, I have to thank you for turning it back to football. I appreciate you going back to the 3-14 record. You're right. And I actually was giving Chicago some props for having the DJ Moore connection with Justin Fields at the beginning. I think they can be improved this year. But, and like I said, I think it could be better than the Vikings. Jason says, LOL, and that we've kicked the can on Hunter for years. Hunter will be in his prime. This is a win-win. He's over 30 years old. He's coming out of his prime right now.
Come on, Russ. I don't give a rat's Rajneesh if you got Daniil Hunter on your defense because you lost 7 starters from your team that had to pull out 8 games in the fourth quarter. I mean,
how many
you're
starters?
In trouble, Minnesota. Come on.
How many starters? Total? 8.
You like that.
That's 8 guys. That's an 8 banger right there. You lost 8 starters. How do you do that and then just be like, I'm still good? Come on the show. Make sense of this for me. Tonight we're going to be talking that smack. We need to get some of these guys out there. Bears were 1-7 in 1-score games. Listen, Mike, I don't mean to just this is the NFL. Did you know that most of the games are one-score games, like from every single team?
I didn't say a thing about one-score games. I said you had to come back 8 times in the fourth quarter.
Bear
If we were
down,
talking
Mike.
about one-score games, it would have been 11, not 8. So pay attention, peasant.
1 and 8 and one-score games. I mean, I remember
they were
being
11-0 in one-score games, and they came from behind in the fourth quarter 8 times. So get it right.
It's bear down Mike, not Minnesota fan.
It's bear down Mike that says that. And that was the result of a depleted defense. And he's got excuses. 1 and 7 in one-score games. Like I said, this is the NFL. Most of the games are one-score games. How many one-score games did we lose? Would we have been at 13, 14 wins in the one-score games?
3. Yeah.
3. So we would have been at 12 wins. So, I mean, come on, man. We also lost a bunch of one-score games too. Got very, very close at the beginning of the season on a bunch of teams, like Philadelphia. But we had a brutal beginning of the schedule. So no, you can't pull the one-score game thing on us. I don't know if that's really gonna. Oh man, it's a Detroit fan man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I think that it's true. Chicago is the most improved team in the division. That doesn't feel great to type. Sure. Are you sure? I mean, I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, they had 100 million. I mean, they definitely had the most resources to become the most improved team. But the reason you're the most improved team is because that team was bad. It was so bad that it's hard not to improve. You just needed to bring new people in and it improved. Eric Thomas says they look electric so far. I know that pads aren't on, but we haven't had a good real receiver. And that's fair. Good morning, Jeff. Hard for Packer fan here. It scares me that I have a feeling that the Lions are going to be the team to beat in the North this year. Well, at least you can admit it. The Lions haven't proven nothing for years, says Rashniz. How can the fans on the outside how can fans from the outside put some respect on Detroit? Well,
you're the one that said to put respect on people. Why are we going to put respect on the Bears when they've been trashing the division just as much as the Lions over the past 5 years?
Well, I mean, if the Lions haven't proven nothing, they beat your ass twice last year. So they proved it to you twice last year. They proved it to Green Bay twice last year when they beat their ass twice last year. And Minnesota got a victory on us. So there's the only team in the division. So if that doesn't put some respect on your name, beating your ass twice, then I guess nothing will. Danielle Hunter turns 29 in October, though. Is that true? No, I don't know. Okay. Jason MC, love it. Got to get rid of the dead weight. We got to get rid of dead weight. And you're a Viking fan. Who are we talking about there? Jason Spence, but we came back. And Albert Tucker says, they are all rebuilding, except it. Damn, you didn't hear us crying the last 5 years of rebuilding. Let's see what else we got here. Can you send me a link, please? All right, let's put the link into the deal because I think that Woody wants to come on and defend his team. We got a lot of good comments in here, right? Mm-hmm. John Dorn, Packers beat themselves last year. No, the Lions beat the Packers last year. The Lions beat the Packers. Packers didn't beat themselves. You tried to win the game and you got beat. I love excuses out of these Packer fans.
Period.
They just love to make excuses. Loving to make excuses. We missed the playoffs last year.
Playoffs?
Lions missed the playoffs. We're not jumping up and down about this. Our team's better. That's it. Our team is better. You can't deny that. And there's Woody. What's up, Woody?
What is this, Bash the Bears Day or what?
Is it?
You guys, hey, all you guys have to do is ask me to come on instead of bashing the Bears and then making me want to come on.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
It was Rajneesh that started the bashing.
Yeah,
Just
and like I said, I don't know who this guy is, but invite him Monday night. I'll trash my own fan base because that's just personally attacking people. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
who are you?
He came back. I pulled the reins back on Rajneesh because we let our thoughts be known out there on how we feel about that type of trash talking, and he hasn't personally attacked anybody since. So I forgive him. Even
John Dorn, we missed the playoffs because Goff can't carry a team. We missed the playoffs because our defense didn't stop anybody for 7 weeks. Jesus.
I mean, Goff didn't carry the team. Let me put something out here. Here's something that I can prove that he did carry the team. He was 15 touchdowns, 0 interceptions down the stretch last year. That's carrying your team. The end. I mean, what do you have on that?
Jason Smith comes on. If we're so tabled, then why is he still
listening?
Oh,
am I blocking? You can't get at the pump? Holy cow.
Come on, Mike. What are you doing? Just drive 140 miles per hour and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, man, he's out of here.
Now you're going to call on me. Now you're going to call on me. Okay. Well, I got to tell you what, if you think that the Minnesota Vikings or the Chicago Bears are going to contend for this division title, you don't know your Rajneesh from a hole in the ground.
You like that?
Oh my gosh, here we go. And the smack talking starts early. Just so you know, we do this. We're going to do this tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you know it's a little bit. We're hoping to get a little bit harsher of some smack talk now that we're into training camps. Now that we're into training camps. Now that we've seen a little bit of our teams. Maybe the smack talking guys can come out of the woodworks, right?
Yeah, Russell, you understand what I'm saying about the favoring, correct? Like,
what's that?
Like Justin Fields, he favored Mooney a lot 2 years ago, and I don't want that happening with DJ Moore because, like I said, the tight end Cole Kmet's got to get involved. You do have hopefully a healthy Mooney that's coming back. And let me tell you something. I was watching training camp this, past couple days and stuff like that. Beware of this Tyler Scott, wide receiver. He is a quick mofo, and he was making catches like you wouldn't believe. So he has a lot of weapons, and again, there's no excuse this year. You better do something. If you have the offensive line beefing up.
Is he better than Tariq Cohen?
Who, Tyler Scott?
Yes.
Well, there's two different positions. Tyler Scott's a wide receiver. Tariq Cohen was a running back. But he's taller.
It's hard to believe Tariq Cohen was a running back.
Yeah.
He made some plays though, Tariq Cohen. I miss him until he got injured and stuff like that, and like milked his injury and stuff. But it was hard to see him go. But he made some plays too. So, like I said, there's going to be no excuses this year, or we're going to be drafting the quarterback next year in the draft. Guaranteed.
That's the facts.
Yep.
Big Dan says people have been talking again, labeling JMO a bust. He's had some struggles in camps with some drops, and he got into a scuffle. Can we put the bust talk to bed until he shows us?
Guess who we got in that scuffle with? Guess who we got in the scuffle with?
Who?
Starling Thomas. The 5th.
Somebody must have covered him well. That's all I got to say. And
so that's an undrafted free agent going in there, being a scrappy, doing everything he can to make the team. And JMO gets upset with that overzealousness. I don't think he's been in this league long enough to start throwing punches. This is another red flag for JMO.
No, not really.
It's just it's just
every year.
It's just like, did you see Kelsey? What happened to him? He just threw a punch to the one guy at Chiefs training camp. So there's a lot of scuffles and punches already thrown.
Because if you're going to say that, then last year,
that's my point. that's my point. Hasn't Travis Kelce earned the right to say, slow the fuck down, rookie? Okay? Jameson Williams has not. This is another red flag, in my opinion, for J-Mo. And Russell Wade will start to defend him right now in 3, 2, 1.
I didn't even hear anything about this. Like, I mean,
Well, let's
when
go
did this
into it.
happen? Like this is a comment.
When he came back off of his injury and started playing again, because it was a minor leg injury, whether it was cramps or whatever, he missed a couple of practices. He comes back. He's covered by Starling Thomas V. He got a little handsy. J-Mo didn't like it. It's no different than what Amon-Ra St. Brown did last year to Jeff Okuda, if you don't remember, or the year before that, when Josh Reynolds, when he got here and did it to somebody else in practice. Tempers get flared when it's hot and humid.
So I want to comment and actually defend Mike on this one a little bit, where it's like,
here we go.
Is I mean, at the point where I've defended and defended and defended and defended him, right? This guy's been out there for like 9 plays in 2 years. It seems like with a couple of.
This is the second year. It's only
this
1 year.
is going into his second year. So if all we're hearing is this, I mean, he's getting into scuffles with guys out there. He shouldn't be getting into scuffles with guys. With that draft status, he should be dominating those guys.
Right.
And he's not. He's getting into scuffles with undrafted free agents. That doesn't put a red flag up for you?
No,
at least
not, really.
not even a pink flag?
No.
Like, wait a minute. Like,
we see it every year. There's scuffles at camp with the players on their own teams. There's scuffles every year. And
but you know
rookies, UDFAs, veterans, it goes back and forth.
So you mentioned Amon-Ra St. Brown getting in a scuffle with Jeff Okuda. What did Amon-Ra St. Brown do last year?
Same
he dominated.
Okay.
He dominated.
Right.
What did Jameson Williams do last year?
No. Last off season. I'm not talking about this off season with Amon-Ra. Last year.
Right. What did Amon-Ra do in his season last year?
He dominated both
dominated.
Years. But that doesn't matter. He's still a second-year guy getting in the face of a veteran. This guy got in the face of a guy with less experience on the team than him. I don't see where it's any different.
So I think what Mike's trying to say is do a little more dominating before you get into your scuffles. Get into some do your dominating.
Travis Kelce's earned it. Travis Kelce's earned that.
Yeah, but did you see it though?
No, it's not.
Did you see the scuffle?
I didn't see it. So
yeah, Kelce was going in back of the end zone. He caught a touchdown, and he had the ball up like this, and the rookie came around. Can't pronounce his name. Tried to swap the ball away, and then Kelce turned around and clocked him in his face with the helmet on. I was like, relax, man. These kids are playing for a job. So what if he tried to? What are you going to do in the regular season game? Going to turn around and punch a guy because he tried to swap the ball away? No. So I know Kelce earned it.
Great. Wouldn't that have been great if Kelce broke a finger?
Come on.
Punching that guy in the helmet.
And then he walks away right there. Detroit Fan Man says 7 p.m. tonight, same channel. Yes, we're gonna run it back tonight, and hopefully it's a little more nasty tonight, and we can quit this off-season tame stuff that we've been doing the last couple weeks. I'm sure that everybody's getting pumped up for their team, right? Like all the true colors are coming out. The realism starting to ooze out, and the homerism starting to jump in for these teams.
There we go. Inside information. Patty Grimes just got back from Lions training camp.
Where's that at?
Last comment up on YouTube on my channel.
Rajneesh is right. This show sucks.
Hey, we didn't claim him though. Just want to let you know. Bears fans did not claim him.
All I know
Thanks for watching, Raj.
Thanks for helping.
My vacuum cleaner stopped sucking until I put a Green Bay sticker back on it.
Albert Tucker says Justin Fields is a running back. All right. And Eric Thomas says facts.
Did somebody just say Justin Fields is a running back? That's an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah, that's like
Oh, yeah.
little bit of
There
the
we go.
50s coming through
Jason
right there.
Smith is kind of in my boat. It just shows fire from both players.
It does. Yeah. And you know what? When Dan Campbell was in the last year during the broadcast, you know, the Hard Knocks, he'd said, it's like, I don't mind if people get into fights, but if you start an all-out brawl, you're done. You're done. Right. I mean, you can't work with us anymore. So they like the fieriness, but if it turns into something more than that, and you know, you affect the entire team, then that's not good. Dan Davis, I love hearing from Dan Davis on here. It's football. People just get heated while frustrated. It just happens. Amon-Ra got into a scuffle in last year's camps. It happens. So the fan base doesn't seem all that, too upset about this.
Russell Solper, I love it. Never type Jordan Love is the real deal ever again.
Never. I mean that is kind of homerism if you're expecting him the day one to be good.
Ooh,
I don't know.
Number
Fire
49.
Fire is good.
49. Is that James Houston? Had a couple of fights today?
41.
Oh, okay.
Rajni says that it's not that Justin Fields to put up or shut up. That's that's on Ryan Poles to see if he can compete with a complete football team on the field. Quit trying to make the QB to be the one to cover up the front office shortcomings. Yeah, there's truth in that. Like, it seems like he's backing off of some of his hardcore bear takes right there. Adrian West says fights at training camp will happen and it comes to the players competing for jobs. Yeah, you're at 90 people on the roster right now, and it's got to be 53. And there is no leveling down like in years past. I mean, it goes straight from 90 to 53 now, doesn't it, Jeremy?
Yeah, that's exactly right. They don't have to make a cut till after week 3 of the preseason is done in that off week before the regular season.
That's crazy. But at least those guys get to try to compete.
Oh, he had more fights today. Imagine that. Starling Thomas, 49, had the fights. He had a couple of fights.
Seems to me like this guy's pretty scrappy. It's essential for Jamo's rookie year. I don't think that he was even at camp last year. He is eased in and used sparingly last year after he was healthy. He's still learning.
And that is a fact.
And that's true. That's true. When I defend him, that's kind of where I'm going with it. But it's just like these things. I mean, and they're all a bunch of little things.
49 didn't just fight with Jamo. He fought with somebody else too. Is he the one that's too fiery and has the red flag then as a UDFA?
That's a good question. What do you think out there? Is it a fiery undrafted free agent rookie just scrapping up trying to make the team, starting fights, being fiery and people reacting?
Or so.
Yeah, after listening to Dan Davis be the voice of reason, I've had a moment to reflect on it. And, maybe I do like this a little bit more with Jamo being fiery like that. Telling this rookie, look, I'm a young player, but you're not going to punk me out. Okay? And maybe this is a good thing, Jamo, and maybe his team will respect him more for, not letting this rookie get on him like that. And, maybe this is a good thing. Especially when you consider what you just said about Dan Campbell. I did hear Dan Campbell say that he almost was encouraging fieriness and fighting, right? Let's just not start a brawl. Let's be fiery. But so maybe this is what Jamo was doing. Maybe it's not such a bad thing, and maybe I was a little too critical.
What was the exact thing he said? I love it when guys get in each other's face, right? Isn't that what he said?
Yeah, as long as it doesn't turn into an all-out brawl.
As long as it doesn't turn into an all-out team brawl, because if it turns into an all-out team brawl, the guys that started it will be gone.
Okay, so Dan Davis says, I don't think that it matters how long a guy has been in the league. It's football. People get frustrated. I think Jamo will be fine. Good take. I love it. Dan Davis is going to be our, like, off the camera voice of reason, that when we get too fiery, he can come in here and he can settle us down so we don't start all out brawls right here on our show. Just got back into Lions training camp. Let me see. John Dorn, I love you, dude. I can't wait to see you tonight. Overhyped, overrated Lions ain't doing squat this year. Nothing this season. Our running back is better than yours, says Rushni.
That's an opinion.
Which one?
Unless you're talking about Fields. Fields might
Which
be better
one?
than both of them.
Which running back?
Uh-oh. There went Mike.
Yep. There went Mike. Let's see. If there's no fuel, there's no desire to be better.
That's right.
Patty Grimes says that number 49 had a couple of fights today. Bear Down Mike says Poles will be waiting for cuts to sign an edge rusher. Think about that statement right there. When you're jacking your team, and you're thinking that you're going to be really, really, really good as a Bear fan, think about what you just said right there. You are going to wait for other teams to cut their pass rushers so you guys can find some quality pass rushers.
When there's decent ones on the free agent market right now.
Yep.
Yannick Ngakoue, Jadeveon Clowney are both better than either one of the ones you got.
Clowney's washed up, but I take Yannick or Houston.
Yeah, and then Justin Houston. That's the other one.
I would hold off on. I would hold off on Clowney, and even people are like, "Oh, Chase Young." I'm like, listen, Chase Young can't stay healthy. Plus, you got to trade for him anyway. So I don't want Chase Young. I like somebody to be healthy, on the field and stuff like that. Just like for example, were you guys really pissed off and upset that you guys lost DeAndre Swift because he couldn't stay healthy either?
No.
And all these Eagle fans are all these Eagle fans around here. Oh man, we got our running back. Are you serious? Freaking Gainwell is going to play more and stay on the field more than DeAndre Swift will. So, yeah.
There he goes.
Off if we waste our money on Chase Young, which I don't think we will.
Straight talk because you're
and capital. Chase Young's still on Washington, right?
Right.
Yeah,
he's got to be traded for him. And they want significant amount because they gave up a second pick overall to get him.
Right.
But they didn't pick up his 5th-year option because he can't stay healthy.
So Bear Down Mike says, I agree with you guys. I would sign Houston or Yannick ASAP. Yeah. If you're going to sign a pass rusher, you better sign him right now because he's got to learn how to play with you guys.
Yep.
Like, the other 3 teams in the division, I know that you just think that you could just pop in a pass rusher and then everything's all good. But the other 3 teams in the division have been practicing with their teammates since the beginning of training camp. They're learning the offense and defense together. It's like you got to get these guys in if you're really going to sign these guys. And if you're waiting for somebody else's scraps, that's not going to, you guys ain't going to have a pass rush this year.
Wow. I think the Bears are really scratching for an edge rusher because I think Alan Williams, I think he's on the hot seat. I even though it's his second, third year, our defense last in sacks, fired defensive line coach. No, Alan Williams, he's on the hot seat.
Albert Tucker, I'm going to disagree because after DeAndre Swift came back from his injury, he didn't have as many snaps as he had per game. He stayed healthy because he missed series, he missed quarters, he missed halves throughout the rest of the season due to little injuries taking him out of the lineup. Because that's why Justin Jackson, Netflix, and others got carries in the second half of the season. He only had 99 carries. Guess what? He had 52 of them before he got injured.
Yeah, I don't know. False DeAndre Swift worked his butt off to get back healthy and then finish the last game season. Yeah. I mean, if you call healthy, meaning that you were repping behind Justin Jackson, I mean, they were giving him carries, but it was Jamal Williams and Justin Jackson were getting the bulk of the carry. I mean, Swift is getting a couple carries game, maybe. If he was getting carries, it wasn't significant. I don't really remember all that much. I know that he was getting some carries, but it's not like he was scoring a bunch of touchdowns or, making significant impact. It was Jamal Williams in that last game. I think he got a first down in that last game or something. It may be a big brain move on Bradley to send our frequently injured running backs to the team we hope to chase in the conference race. Swift to Philly feels too strategic.
Mm-hmm. That's a nice statement there.
That's like conspiracy theory. That's deep right there, Detroit fan, man.
And Big West Kevin comes in right after that and says they finally killed the camp cockroach, Tom Kennedy. Rest in peace.
Oh man, Tom Kennedy, man. What a like if you're a Lion fan. I mean, I know Woody doesn't know anything about Tom Kennedy, but I think every team has that one guy that like only your fan base knows, but everybody loves the crap out of him. Do you have a guy like that on your team, Woody? That like nobody else would know, but you guys love him.
Patrick Manley, our long snapper.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Why do you love Patrick Manley, your long snapper?
Because they keep re-signing him. it's like our big off-season signing every year. So we re-signed Patrick Manley. I'm like, hell yeah.
That's right.
You know what? we can relate to that because while we sucked, you know who it was for us? Don Muleback.
And this Kennedy, I mean, this is the guy. Like Tom Kennedy is this wide receiver. I don't think he's ever made the 53-man roster. He always ends up on our practice squad, and then he comes up and then plays one good game, like on the regular roster. He never makes the roster, but he always comes in and kills it when he comes in. Nobody knows who he is. What was the game last year? What was the big game last year? He had a really big game when he came in. Was that Minnesota?
Dallas? Was it Minnesota or Dallas? It was one of those two where he came in and he started doing good, but it wasn't enough.
Like picked right up where he left off. It was like the who was that? Was that Kennedy that caught that? Oh my God, Kennedy! I know that Big Dan Davis loves that because he's like Kennedy.
There he is. He already did it in the chat. Mr. Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Wow, Russ, you sound like the lead singer of Parkway Drive there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh man, he keeping those checks coming. Oh man. So what about you out there? If you're a Viking fan, I haven't heard from Packer fan in a minute. What about you guys? I want to know about the guy that nobody knows about on your team, Packer fan, Viking fan, that nobody knows about, that just keeps that you like. That's just you like him.
Been hanging around as a UDFA signing and just sticks around the practice squad or the back end of the roster and rides the pine. Who is it?
So I don't know who Kendall Vildor is. So is he the cockroach?
Oh God.
Is that a good one?
No. Nobody. No. Hey, no.
Like that.
No, nobody likes that. He was one of our cornerbacks last year, and he got burned. And I'm just glad he's going to be on the practice squad or maybe third string. But if they put him in any earlier than that in third string, I'm going to be quite upset because he was just terrible last year. Terrible, Vildor. Oh, unbelievable.
All right. Well, since nobody's jumping in on that, let's because I want to talk to you a little bit. I did take some notes. I listened to some a Chicago Bears the Locked On Bears podcast just to kind of get an idea. And a couple things that came out there, not just the connection between Fields and Moore, but you have a good cornerback battle. You got Jalen Johnson, Gordon's kind of set there in your slot, but you got a nice competition between the rookie Stevenson and Terrell Smith. Talk about that connection a little bit.
I Stevenson, I'm telling you, he might take the place of Gordon. Why we put Gordon on nickel, but Stevenson, he's phenomenal. I'm watching him play. I'm just watching training camp all together and our whole defense and stuff like that, doing interceptions and stuff like that. But Tyreek Stevenson, he looks awesome. And I think he's gonna, maybe be on the starting defense week 1 and putting Gordon at nickel.
So what can you tell me about Terrell Smith? Because I don't know a lot about this guy, but they're saying that he's actually competing for that number 2 spot. Like it might actually be a real competition. He could win it.
I don't. No way. I mean, he can. It depends. Like I said, it's hard to say that because of injuries and stuff like that. But right now, if no one gets injured, he won't be up there. He won't be starting. I mean, it would be, Jalen Johnson this year's got to play his heart out because he's playing for an extension, and they don't know if they're going to give it to him. Brisker's already there. Eddie Jackson's already there. Yep. And Tyreek Stevenson. We have a strong defensive backfield, but we need depth. He might be a good depth player going in second string. So we'll like I said, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, God forbid, nobody gets injured because injuries do suck. You're seeing them all over the place. I mean, Giants lost somebody today too, but like I said, hopefully, there's no injuries. But I think we have our DBs set.
So Bear Down Mike says Jalen needs to ball out if he wants to get that bank.
Absolutely.
Big Dan Davis says Tyreek Stevenson from the U. He could be really good for you guys, Woody. And he's a really good athlete from what I saw. So, I mean, when this comes down to it like this, really what we're trying to say here is you got a couple of young cornerbacks that might be good that are going to be competing with each other. And even if he doesn't compete for that job, he's definitely going to be there for the depth there. So maybe you have a little more depth than you thought. Word out was the Sanborn injury is a little worse than they thought. That they're trying to get him ready, but he might not be ready for the beginning of the season. Your thoughts on that?
Well, it always sucks losing a linebacker, especially Sanborn. But he was going to be the backup to TJ Edwards and Edmonds. But like I said, the depth thing, I thought because now with Sanborn hurt, and if he's not, starting week 1 or, playing Sewell, I want to see how Sewell is. And this is his chance if Sanborn does not start this year. Sewell, I said it before. I said it on Mike's show, Hallis Hall Report 2 weeks ago. He had the picture of the 5 draft picks we have, and Sewell wasn't up there. And I said, I'm excited to see how this guy goes. So, Sanborn, he's a stud. I mean, he got hurt last year towards the end of the year. He was out for the year. So hopefully he heals up. But like I said, if it doesn't work out, I want to see how Sewell does. We have that linebacker depth.
And it's good. And it's good like that because sometimes when the injuries, especially when it comes in early training camp, you get opportunities for some of these younger guys to come in and try to make an impact. You got any thoughts on Sanborn, Jeremy Ballrick?
I loved Sanborn coming out last year in the draft, and I think they had a good pickup getting him. He's just one of those sideline to sideline defenders. He's okay in coverage. He's okay in run coverage, and he knows how to blitz. And a solid tackler to boot.
And I like that too. What do you think if you're out there, Bear fan? What do you think about that? Gives a new opportunity for some of the young guys. Who would you like to see in the training camp as we move on to the next subject on there was Darnell Wright. Darnell Wright has been turning heads in camp. They said this kid has got a regimen already coming right in. He packs his lunch. He goes to work. He's working like what a great player does. They
he's
get
a
the
willing run blocker.
Yeah,
I mean, besides the talent, just the work ethic and what it takes to just I want to go in, get my routine that is set for the next 5 years on how to take care of my body and all that. He's got all of that down. So
I didn't say he was drafted. I said I wanted him last draft, and he was a great pickup. That doesn't mean you guys drafted him.
What's that?
Because Bear Down Mike saying Sanborn wasn't drafted. I never said he was drafted. I said I wanted him last year in the draft, and it was a great pickup, which means it's not a draft pick.
Jeremy.
I know, but he's like he gets in there and he says he wasn't drafted. I never said he was drafted.
But sometimes
the thing about Darnell Wright, he's just shredding these workouts. I mean, he's doing pretty good. But on the other side, I want to talk to me about 2 weeks. I want to see how he does with his pads. See how he's doing with the defensive lineman.
Yeah, when do the pads come on for you guys?
I think this week.
Just this, okay.
I think because you guys started your training camp 4 days after the Lions, right? Yeah, it was 4 days later because we started the week before. You guys started the following Monday, which means either Wednesday or Thursday you guys should be hitting the pads.
Talk to me then about Darn. But Darn, right, like I said, the way he's shredding these workouts, because I was watching him, I was like, my God. Hopefully he does this in pads and stuff like this. I know it's different because there's no contact yet, stuff like that. But I am excited to see how he is doing with pads on. And then I'll know.
You verified what I said.
Bear Down Mike says Wednesday, I think the pads come on, and we'll make sure that we'll be on at 11 o'clock. So that should be right at the end. There might be a report right there at 11 o'clock. And I know that you guys will cover it on Wednesday after, I mean, for sure, you guys will be so excited to see somebody on.
Hey, you know what? Are we the only team in the NFL that gets so excited because we see our one offensive lineman we draft shredding these workouts? I mean, everybody's like, oh, quarterbacks, oh, running backs, oh, defense. No, we're excited about the offensive line because we haven't had one in so many years. So.
I mean, because think about it, the entire time you guys had David Montgomery, the best your O-line ranked was 20th.
And look at, and now Detroit, top 5, top 10 offensive line?
Third in the league right now.
So imagine Montgomery this year that he might not have to break too many tackles. Who knows? Because he's going to have a clear way to go.
My Padawan is saying hi, Master Jeremy, on every platform. So I better say hi before he keeps typing it and goes to Facebook next.
My gosh. So, he's taking it. I mean, maybe you can completely switch him from Panther fan to Lion fan. I mean, I don't know. Bryce Young, 5'1", starting quarterback.
5'1". Come on now.
I still
at 5'3" is taller than Bryce Young. Wow.
I think Stroud's gonna have a better rookie year than I really do. Down in Houston with the young players.
Agree. Yeah. The only thing I think that will help Bryce Young is the fact he's got DJ Shark on the outside because he's tall enough he can see him over the O-line.
Okay.
Sure, at 5'1".
I feel
no, I'm talking about DJ Shark is tall enough to see him downfield over the O-line.
Yeah.
But the other subject you had up on the title page of this was the Lions safety room depth.
Man, I mean, I love you, Jeremy. I love you, Will. But are you and Jeremy dating?
No,
I mean, no, you guys aren't. You guys because I've had some fans before in my life being in singing, but I don't know if I've had somebody.
You guys are the one that started. You and Mike are the one that started calling him my Padawan, and so he's taking it to the next level.
He's owning it on the next level. Albert says, okay, so rate 1, 2, 3 importance, run blocking, 2 quarterback protection, and 3 red zone scoring.
For the O-line and for the Bears, if you actually look at it, pass protection wise, they did hold a pocket. They were 9th best in the league last year at 2.7 seconds. Yep. So pass protection, they weren't that bad. It was run protection they needed to fix the most because they gave up negative 0.7 to first contact for running backs, which is why David Montgomery led the league in broken tackles because he sometimes had to break 3 before he got past the O-line.
Yeah, and I think they're all equally important, but I think it has more to do with what your schemes are. I mean, if you're a run heavy team.
Plus another one is third down conversions for the Bears. and definitely red zone scoring.
So
Like I said, like I said about the tight ends, this is where Robert Tonyan and Cole Kmet come in. You know, we had a Jimmy Graham within the 20-yard line. We look for that tight end to get up there and get that ball. So that's what I'm looking forward to see. Hopefully Kmet or Tonyan get those scores in the red zone.
All right. So here, Will coming back again. In all seriousness, Jeremy is a phenomenal mentor, and I'm forever grateful for that. And he allows me on his show to talk football with him. Every time I talk to him, I gain more football knowledge. Well, there you go.
And it says, I will propose soon. Oh,
no. Yeah. But the other topic that you discussed today, wanted to discuss today, was the Lions safety room depth, right? Russell, that's what you had on the title screenshot.
All right, so let's talk about the Lions safety depth.
I actually have it wrote down right from the depth chart on DetroitLions.com for you. And they say, starting at free safety will be Tracy Walker III. Starting at strong safety will be Kirby Joseph. Then you got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Brian Branch, Ife Melifonwu, Brendan Joseph, then Will Harris, then Brady Breeze. The last one on there, I'm pretty sure will not make the roster or the practice squad.
And what's that one?
Brady Breeze.
Brady Breeze. Okay. So,
he did absolutely nothing last year, and I've yet to hear his name doing anything well this year in camp.
Well, I'll tell you what, I really dug that interview they had with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Hell yeah.
It was so good. Like Tim Twentyman, like asking him, like, how does it feel to be back at practice? And he's like, what do you mean?
Never left. Never left.
Hey, Russell, I know you don't like the panel to be asking you questions. I remember your thing from Friday or Thursday that you said that you asked the questions. So if I ask you a question, can you ask it back? I just want to know, like your DBs were 32nd in the league last year?
32nd. Yes.
32nd. So what do you think your bump up ranking is with the signings that you had? Like what do you think you'll be at right now?
Well, that's a great question to throw out there. What do you think out there? Where do you think our ranking is going to be? And they made improvements according to the paper, right? So with the 32nd ranked, cornerback room, what do you do? Well, you fire everybody. And then,
no, the only place you can is go up.
Yeah. I mean, if you just look at it like player for player, right? I think that Cameron Sutton is a good pro. I don't think that he's going to be like, Gardner, Sauce Gardner or anything like that. But as a undersized cornerback, been in a league, he knows how to be a pro. He's very intelligent. He's probably going to be a head coach someday because he's so smart. I think that he's an upgrade definitely over Oruwariye or Okudah. Chauncey Gardner is definitely an upgrade over Deshaun Elliott. And Emmanuel Mosley is an upgrade over both Oruwariye or Okudah, just by the way that he's played. So on paper, it should be drastically improved. I think that you could say that they'll be in the top half, meaning like 1 to 15. More,
right, gotcha.
Probably more like 10 to 15 area.
I'm going to scale it back a little bit because Mosley is just put on the PUP list, which means he's going to miss another 4 to 6 weeks. So that's before we even see him take the field. He's at the facility, but he's not practicing. He's just going through video stuff and doing the workouts he can do while he rehabs his injury. I'm going to say closer to 20th to start the season. From 32, that's a huge upgrade. If we'd have had the 20th secondary last year, we'd have won 13 games.
Yeah. Below average. I'm on record on this show to saying below average secondary would have gotten us 13 wins last year.
Oh, Russell, you're a homer. That's why, Russell. You're the homer of the Detroit Lions fan club.
Yeah, you know I am. But them. Really, it was so bad. Like when you're talking, and not just 32nd bad, it was like historically, like if you rated all the 32nd ranked teams over the last 20 years, they were the worst 32nd ranked cornerback room. So even when they were playing better at the end of the season, they couldn't climb out of that secondary hole that they had dug the first 7 games of the season.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, for him to say 20, I don't know if that's a homer take. That's just like, gosh.
No, I'm just kidding with you.
Hey, we were really close in some games, and it was the secondary that just kind of fell out from underneath. You know, we were actually getting pass rush. The front 7 was actually doing decent, but the secondary was just
I know how you feel, because you remember, back then, mid 90s, end of 90s, 2000s, they say all the time, defense wins championships.
Right.
That's all you heard. And that's why Bears were so good, because of their defense. Just like like I said about the Super Bowl in 06. You tell me if you had Rex Grossman or Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl because of the Ravens defense. And I hate to say I don't like Trent Dilfer at all, but anyway.
He would have won
so
you in 06 though.
Yeah, no, Rex Grossman. But I know how you say you guys were 32nd ranked in defensive backfield last year. I didn't like the Bears football defense. We were last in sacks, and to hear that the Bears were last in sacks, that's got to hurt. That hurts us. That hurts me the most, because I'm used to defensive football, and that's why I want to get this edge rusher. I mean, Yannick, I think he's going to be 28?
Yeah,
28 years old.
28.
Yeah.
Right.
He's been on a couple teams. Houston, I like his mentality, and he's a beast as well. But I don't agree that we should wait to get a defensive edge rusher. Go out and get your guy now.
Right.
Go. Yannick already said he was interested in Bears, and the Bears were looking at Houston. If I was interested in playing for the Bears, if I was Yannick, if I was Ryan Poles, get him in the office, interview him, blah blah blah, get him on the team, see if they can do a contract and stuff like that. Get your edge rusher, let him work out with the team. Don't wait till the end of training camp to get your edge rusher.
And Big West,
you got to have him. You got to have him work with the team. So, with us being last in sacks and you guys being last in, defensive backfield, I mean, it hurts me more than I guarantee it hurts you guys, because I'm so used to it.
Well, if you got big, nasty guys, you can plug and play a lot of those secondary guys. I like this call right here saying, oh, man, I lost it right there. Oh, wait, you want to talk about a homer take right here? I think the Lions will have a top 5 offense and a top 10 defense in my eyes. Will coming in with the smoke. Right.
Wow, get your Super Bowl tickets now.
I mean, if that happens,
if we're that good, that is Super Bowl bound.
Put that second mortgage down in your house and pay that $10,000 a weekend.
I love it.
Coming from a Homer Panthers fan.
Like that.
Oh, wow, playoffs.
Yeah,
playoffs.
It's been a minute, man. Like I wouldn't even know what this town, this area would do, even with a playoff win in this whole area in mid-Michigan would just be, it would be crazy. You would think that we won a Super Bowl with one
statues going up at Campbell.
I mean, look at what we're doing. We didn't even go to the playoffs last year. Yeah, I mean, you would think that we won the Super Bowl last year because we beat.
Like I said, I live 45 minutes from Philly, and with them losing the championships in baseball, losing the Super Bowl, losing the soccer, and losing in the NBA playoffs, they want to burn that city down. So I don't know how Detroit fans are. I was back then, I was graduating from high school, and that's when my Devils swept the Detroit Red Wings in the Stanley Cup playoffs in '95. So I don't know how Detroit fans are, but I know what Phillies fans do when they lose or win. So it's crazy.
Right on. Kareem's got a question for you, Woody. What is the vibe on Tremaine Edmonds, and is he still a baller or line? Is it locker room culture. He says liquor room.
See, I was good question. I was watching training camp, and Tremaine Edmonds is going to be the captain of that defense if it's not Eddie Jackson. He ran 2 pick sixes back, not on Fields. I won't mention who he was, Peterman. Oh, did I say that? Yeah. So I think Edmonds, for how young he is, he's already in the two Pro Bowls. I'm a big Virginia Tech guy. I love the signing. And I think he's going to be a stud, and he goes after the quarterback. So hopefully, Alan Williams calls that linebacker blitz, and he's going to be in there. But that's a big excitement for me, and he's going to be a great player for a great addition. So I think he's going to be the captain of that defense. I said it here first.
Right on. So Wes says Fields was first at getting sacks.
He was.
Thanks for the thanks for that. But does everybody know out there that we didn't have an offensive line? But see, this is what else Fields have to do, and I said it twice already. When you're getting rushed and there's nowhere to go, you throw that ball out of bounds. You don't take the sack. Field goal is points. Field goals are points. If you're at that 30-yard line and you get sacked and without throwing the ball and you have to punt instead of kicking a field goal, that's an issue. That's a big issue, and he was making rookie mistakes by doing that, taking those sacks. He's got to learn to throw the ball out of bounds.
And I was actually going to defend the pocket statement that I made.
Yep.
32 of those sacks were outside the pocket.
Yep. And it's my point exactly. Throw the ball out of bounds. I know all these quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, stuff like that, they want to do something with the ball if they don't have anybody open. But you got to think, though, these edge rushers, these linebackers are a lot quicker than these guys in college. They're going to run you down. I don't care how fast you are. So throw the ball out of bounds. You're in the league now, going to be your 3rd year and stuff like that. Be smart. Don't try to make a play that's out of nothing.
Yeah, because you can always get those extra yards on a specialty team that doesn't have good gap discipline. Like all these guys, even if with your speed, they're going to throw guys out over into those gaps. You can run to the outside all you want. The good teams are always going to mess you up unless you're able to dump the ball over them. That's a great call.
Right.
Still no O-line. Oh, God, I mean, you can't say that. I mean, Clayton. I mean, Clayton Smith says Field sucks, can't make reads, so he runs with it. And he can't go there, man. I mean, Nate Davis. I mean, you can't just say Nate Davis and Darnell Wright making those 2 improvements is nothing. Like
Cody Whitehair at center.
Yeah, and he was a guard that moved to his natural position at center where he had his last good. So really, you can say 3 pieces on that offensive line have been really drastically improved. So
and another thing is that if Lucas Patrick is healthy, he was a center at Green Bay, and he's the one that protected Aaron Rodgers. So what do the Bears do if you have a healthy Lucas Patrick and a healthy Cody Whitehair? Is that depth? Is that depth at center? Because Cody Whitehair couldn't do crap anywhere else on that offensive line. He has to be a center.
Right.
So Albert Tucker asked about that new RPO rule that they brought in about the QBs, asked if it scares Chicago Bear fans. Well, I said, well, if you watch Justin Fields last year, he doesn't shuffle bash or pitch the ball forward. He gets sacked.
Yep.
So until he starts throwing the ball, they got nothing to worry about.
Well, to me, it was a different feel because I didn't realize how the rule was, but I saw a video on just the quarterback sitting in the back and then the running back running in front of him and him handing the ball in front of him. You can't even do that no more.
No, it has to be the side or behind.
It has to be. Yeah. So that's a huge thing because usually when you're doing that type of handoff, that person's body is blocking the view of the ball. So you can before you make your move, you can actually disguise that. If that goes from behind, you can't disguise that quite as easy.
Which another thing I said too is that, Getsky should have more design runs for Justin Fields as well. If he's going to take off and see, I'm hoping he turns out like a Lamar Jackson. As you know, Lamar Jackson, his first 2 years, he was a running quarterback. And then he started passing. And he has an arm, and you had Hollywood Brown and Mark Andrews to throw to. But that's the thing Fields has to do. Is like, if you're going to do it, more design runs, and hopefully I don't think he's going to break that 4,000. I mean, I don't even know why he said he guarantees that. Guarantee is like, oh boy. I think he's going to have 3,000 yards passing, but not 4.
Well, what he could know inside, obviously he knows how they're scheming the offense for him. So, I mean, if he's throwing the ball a lot and he's going to get the targets to be able to do that, I mean, having confidence in your ability is
no excuses this year. None.
No excuses. But does that give you caution when your quarterback is coming right out and making guarantees like that? Does that caution you at all?
That's scary, because if I'm a defensive coach and I'm going in to play Chicago, that would be one thing I'd bring up if I was a defensive coach. This guy, he guarantees he's going to be throwing 4,000 yards this year. We want to be the team, one of the teams that don't let him do that. Right. So that would fire me up.
Can you imagine Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in that DB room going into the Chicago game, and how Chauncey Gardner is being like, yeah, this guy right here, he say he going to throw for 4,000. What do you guys? I mean, I feel you on that, dude. You know that those guys are going to get fired up on that secondary room, thinking you ain't going to do shit. Like,
well, and another thing that's going to fire the defense up too is that he was sacked the most last year too. That would fire me up the most as well. So,
well, there you go, Jeremy. Let's get Jeremy's trying to chime in here.
So, anyways, with Fields, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, what did he do? How many yards did he throw against Philly's defense? Wasn't it like 50?
I don't know. I got to look back on that. I know it was a close game, though.
It was a close game, but there wasn't much passing by either team.
25-20.
Right. Yeah,
Eagles won 25-20.
Yeah. Anyways, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's going to say, hey, we held him under 100. Let's hold him under 50.
Yeah. That guy right there, that secondary for Philadelphia last year with like Bradbury, Slay, and Gardner-Johnson, that's just sick, dude. Like, walking into that, and the fact that the Lions put up 45 on that defense. I know it was the first game.
Dude, I was rooting for, you know what? Like I said, I told you before, Russell. I think I told you, Jeremy, too. I hate the Eagles more than I hate the Packers. And I was rooting for Detroit to win so badly on week 1 last year. And I was so disappointed that it was a good game, a high scoring game, but damn, I was hoping Detroit would come out with that win.
What's stop in the second half? We'd have had it.
Man,
any like them in Seattle, those two games like did a number on our numbers for the secondary. I mean, Geno Smith didn't punt the ball. Like, Geno Smith looked like Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady had a baby against us. Like, it was just like,
jeez, wow. I didn't picture it like that, but thanks for the visual.
Oh,
Rashad Penny looked like the illegitimate stepchild of Marshawn Lynch against us.
And now Rashad Penny's in Philly. So.
Oh gosh, with Swift.
Yeah,
and we don't play him this year.
I'm telling you, Rashad Penny probably will start for them, but I'm telling you, Gainwell is probably their star running back right now.
Gainwell, and who's the other one? Boston Scott. That's their
Scott. Yeah. So.
Oh my God. I figured that more Viking fans would have came out, and because we did try to put the Viking comment up there. It says, I don't know about 4,000 passing yards. That's what Bear Down Mike says. I'm sorry, I put that one up there, make you guys read that. But yeah, when we get into this Viking talk, it just seems like they just slide into that witness protection. You actually had good news. Nobody's going to come out and talk about the good news of the of
Darnell
Hunter. You got a pass rusher.
They signed Danielle Hunter back.
Danielle, I'm sorry. I don't want to. I know. But $20 million was that $20 million, 18 million guaranteed? Whew.
Yeah, they used their money, and Quezzy made sure that he messed up their future cap before they fire him.
It's 10.5 million is the next 3 years. It's split up 3.5.
So he made sure that he screwed up the future cap. You can't fire me. I have all this invested into this. but we actually did cover all 4 teams, at least for a little bit today, and I think we're up against it here. I'm running out of fire right here just to talk. Unless you guys want something else, you got something else you want to bring up before we go off?
No, just can't wait till the pads start. Then I'll know how the players are, the rookies playing, the veterans playing, gelling this offensive line that we have. So I'm excited to see what they can do. So this is the make or break it year for Justin Fields, I think, with us having 2 first rounders next year. If he doesn't, I'm hoping he does, so we get more position players in the first round next year, and so we have to worry about a quarterback.
Got those picks, baby. Go ahead and plug your show for Wednesday after your first padded practice.
Yeah, Wednesday. Come join House Hall Report. You got me, Mike the Bear fan, and Mr. Ken Dobbs. It's going to be 7:30 Central Standard Time on Sundays, Sunday mornings, Central Standard Time. Me, it's afternoon. It's going to be 11:30 Central Standard Time. We're only doing Sundays now and up till the season starts. So come join us.
Right on. Thank you for joining the show today, Woody. It's always a pleasure to have you on there.
Hey, you guys have a good day, and hopefully there's no more injuries for either team. Good luck so far. But Jeremy and Russell, it's always been a pleasure.
Thank you, Woody.
God bless your day, Woody.
See you later.
All right, Jeremy, why don't you go ahead and plug your show, and then I'm going to go ahead and close us out of this thing.
Well, you can follow my writings about the NFL and the Detroit Lions on the SouthFloridaTribune.com under the Motor City Tribune heading. You'll find me with a list of great authors. You can also find me on Kneecap Biting with the Detroit Lions. That's on Wednesdays and Fridays, and soon to have a new show starting Saturdays as well. Then I am also on the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel for any show that my publisher needs me for.
So that is Smoking Jeremy B right there. And this is Football Talk with Russell Wayne. This is NFC North Football Talk with Russell Wayne. And please, tonight, we're going to do this again. We're on live twice. And this right here, every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, we're doing the Smack Talk. Rashni's, come in, bring that thick skin. Come in here and get shredded by Main Event Mike tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. And as always, we love the fact that we're on here July 31st, and there's people on here listening to a couple talking heads talk about football. We're the home of the bad takes. This is the Main Event 365. God bless each and every one of you, and we will see you guys later tonight for the NFC North Open Mic One Pride, baby.